Hello, MedTrans and EagleMed team members. Brian Foster, VP of Ops here, bringing you another video. We did 2 of these videos last year. This is the first one for 2019. And again, the purpose of the video is we want to bring you information of kind of what's happened, what's going on currently. Before I get started, I want to welcome also the 7-bar employees to the MedTrans team as well. They recently joined us, and we're glad to have you aboard. Some quick introductions. Got David Carr, the Director of Safety, with me. And also somebody who's not with us, new to the leadership team, is Mike Stacy. He's our new Director of Maintenance. And also here with us, and first day of employment, and I pulled her in on a video, is Mira Smith, the new Director of Human Resources. So Mira, just quickly introduce yourself to the folks.
Well, thank you. I am extremely excited to be joining the MedTrans team as your HR director. I come with about 20 years of experience in human resources across multiple industries to include computer peripherals, local government, school business, and in the last 10 years I've been in healthcare. I am extremely excited to just come and make sure that myself and my team are offering exceptional customer service to all of our employees.
Very good. Thank you, Mira. And Mira, welcome to the team. We're glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
Also, one thing I want to do with these videos is introduce you to some of the employees that you talk to out of the Denton-Louisville office. I know you talk to them a lot, but sometimes you don't even know what they look like. So with Mira's team on the MedTrans Human Resource Department, let me introduce you to some folks. You got Kelly Thompson. Kelly Thompson is our benefits manager. She's been with the company 7 years. You got Nikki Killebrew, been with the company 3 years, and she's the human resource manager. You got 2 human resource administrators. Brian McGovern's been with us 3 years as well. And you have Sherilyn Moore. She's been with us 2 years as a human resource administrator. And also previous to that, in that time frame, she was with the Pilot Records Department. So that's kind of your team, so you can kind of put a face with a name with that group now. So first, let me talk about 2019 so far. So here we are sitting almost in July, believe it or not. And the first half of 2019 has been extremely busy for us. I want to run over real quick kind of the programs we've started. And first of all was MedStar in Alabama. MedStar is what you might hear is the Baldwin County operation. They're in Stapleton, Alabama. We've added a second aircraft to that program. It'll be in Atmore, Alabama. And that program started actually as a 12-hour ship in February and just became a 24-hour ship about a month and a half ago. That aircraft will move to its new permanent facility in Atmore here in a short time, just trying to get facilities done. So I want to give a thank you to Chad Jones, program manager, and his staff. It was a great effort to get that program up, and we appreciate all you do there. Secondly is our Cape Fear operation in North Carolina. It's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We added a second base to that program. So we'll actually have one aircraft, we do have one aircraft north of Fayetteville and the other one south of Fayetteville. So 2 EC-135s within that program now. Mark Holden started that program and with his team out there, so we thank you and your team members for putting that program in very well. We appreciate that. One of the, also we're really excited, University of Missouri. University of Missouri is a Air Methods program. We won that contract. So we're in the midst of training the pilots and getting the med crew trained. Planning on a start in the end of June, first part of July. That is going to be a program that 2 of the bases will be MedTrans and 2 of the programs will be Aerovac. So it's kind of a combined effort. So we're really excited working with our Aerovac brothers and sisters in this endeavor. One thing with that program is, as you can see, the picture we put up, it's got a tiger on it. So MU Tiger, it's a pretty cool paint job on that aircraft. So fourthly, we've got our AirLink program in Klamath Falls. So that program is currently ours, but Reach, our sister company, is doing the aviation services for it. So they operate a 407 for our base in Klamath Falls. We're MedTrans going to take over the operation of that base, and we're putting a AS350, which you can see. Really cool paint job on that as well. That one's under training right now with the pilots in transition, and it should go in service in July. So thanks for everybody's effort on that as well. The one thing that's been asked to me a lot as I travel around to the bases is the GMR structure changes. What's going on with that? How is that going to affect MedTrans? You know, and all I can tell you right now, you kind of know what I know. You've seen the memos that came out that we've gotten, and Ted Van Horn is now the COO of GMR, so he's our COO. They're still working on what's going to happen with the remainder of that structure. They say within the next month or so we should have some finality to that. So just like me, waiting on memos, waiting on information. What I will say to everybody, the most important thing is keep focusing on what we do at MedTrans, and that is taking care of our patients and taking care of each other. If we focus on that, then we're going to be successful. So that's what I know about structure at this point. A couple things that I want to talk about is culture. So I've heard from quite a few employees that, number one, they're concerned about drift and complacency, and the other thing is retaliation. So starting with drift and complacency, let David talk a little bit about his thoughts with that.
Hey everybody. In 2017, we took a poll of our flight crews, and we asked them two simple questions. What were the top two greatest threats to the safety of you and your operation? Employees were free to write in whatever they thought. Astoundingly, 90% of our employees found complacency as the biggest threat to their operation, and coming in second, distractions was 80% of the threat to safety of their operation. These overwhelmingly large percentages tell us that reducing or eliminating complacency distractions as a risk in your operation will go a long way in making sure that a healthy you goes home at the end of your shift. So what can we do to combat complacency distractions? Well, first of all, we can recognize that we can fall victim to it at any time. Secondly, we should be holding each other accountable and holding ourselves accountable to the standards. And then thirdly, we need to recognize when we are drifting from standards and immediately get back on track.
All right, thanks, David. You know, one thing we always hear is the little microcultures that go on at the base. And, you know, what I always tell everybody, a couple things is, one, that microculture, you don't ever want your standards to drop to a lower standard due to what's going on at your base. So always try to keep that standard up. And the other thing I always tell all the new hires is that, you know, are you going to do the same thing 5 years from now that you're going to do when you come out of the new hire training? Because that's when you're most, you know, prepared to do everything properly. So you have to really fight that urge to cut corners just because you've been doing it a long time. We're all guilty of that, and we're all always having to fight that tendency. So the other thing I want to talk about is the retaliation piece. When I heard this, this one really got my attention, because this one, again, it's polar opposite to the culture that I and Rob Hamilton are trying to cultivate within this company. We're a family-based culture. That's not just in writing, it's who we are. And, you know, talking to retaliation, just get Mira, you get your thoughts on retaliation and you know, what from an HR aspect.
Well, definitely we want employees to feel comfortable talking with their immediate supervisors, but certainly with retaliation, that's just not always feasible. So I think the most important thing for the employees to know is that both myself and David, I think you have some regional people as well, that employees can reach out to, and we are there as a resource for those employees to be able to bring their concerns to, so that we can address it. If we don't know about it, we can't fix it, and we're certainly here to make this a cooperative work environment for everyone.
Yeah, very good, absolutely. And you know, and I'll tell you, everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes, and you know, when retaliation, is it retaliation, or is it you're getting held accountable for something perhaps? You know, I want people to come and coach me, and I look at that from all levels. I want that from you. If you see something I can do better to make this company better, then please tell me about it. The one thing we do have in place is Just Culture, our Just Culture program, and I'm sure everybody's heard about this. And again, it's just not writing, it's who we are. But David, again, go over kind of what the Just Culture program is.
So as Brian said, we all make mistakes, and that's the whole reason we have a Just Culture. For the vast majority of human error and at-risk behavior, what supervisors should be doing is making a positive process. And he does that by having a coaching, which is supposed to be a positive process. Through our change management process, though, we found that the forms that our supervisors were using, it was called the counseling/disciplinary form, it came across to our employees that this was punitive and not a positive outcome. So in 2018, we established a new form for our supervisors using employees. It's called the Coaching for Higher Performance form. This is a guide for supervisors to get employees back on track if they've drifted from the standards, or if they just need a little help and a little more intentionality to get them back on track and to make the entire process more positive. You know, we have a Just Culture process that we've been using for many years at MedTrans, and we're very proud of that. If you have any questions about Just Culture, if you need more information, you can reach out to me or my regional safety officers. You can also reach out to Mary or even Brian. If you want more information on Just Culture, you can look at our People Policy 740 or Chapter 2 of our Safety Manual. It'll all have the information in there in quite detail on Just Culture.
All right, very good. Thank you, David. And you know, one thing I'll say about that real quickly on that process is if you do something wrong that you know, and I'm not going to say no one will ever be disciplined. If you do something, number one, if you do something knowingly, intentionally, and it can cause harm or death to one of the other employees or damage equipment, then you know you're going to be held accountable. That's the thing. Integrity and making sure we take care of each other is very important. But we've had folks that hot started an aircraft and things that cost the company a lot of money. But with our Just Culture program, if it's a mistake, it was unintentional, we run through that process or that program, and we come up with the right answer. So it's not something that somebody just kind of, this is what I want to do with this one person, this is what I want to do with the other. This program takes us to the right outcome based on whether it was intentional or not. Yeah. So. But if you got any questions about retaliation or concerns, reach out, like Mira said, reach out to her, David, myself. Please, I want to hear about it because that's a culture we can't have within this company. Lastly, I know there was a lot of stuff right there, but and I'm going to kind of change the subject here, but we got hurricane season upcoming. Hurricane season, if it's anything like the last 2 years, was we were really busy. Some of you folks were involved, and the ones that volunteered, I appreciate it so much. You know, when we got out there, it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. So you know, be ready if you're interested and want to participate this year. By all means, get your name in the hat and be ready to go. Have your stuff packed, and we'll go out and have some more fun and help people again. So, so with that, I know there was a lot of information in a quick amount of time. I want your feedback on these videos. What else do we need to do? Are they too long? Are they too short? You want more information, less? Just let us know, and we'll improve it however you'd like. It's for you. So for Amira, myself, and David, and the rest of the leadership team, we so appreciate what you do. What you do for people out there in their time of need is very humbling. I appreciate you so much. Please, everybody, have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.